Virgos, welcome and welcome back to the Honey Sea Star Tarot, and welcome to June. This is going to be our weekly read from January, don't ask, June 1st through June 7th. And when I was meditating on the astrology for this week, the biggest message I got is that this is the week where Virgos are harvesting our harmony. Before we get started though, I just want to say thank you guys to each and every one of you for all the ways that you love and support this channel. Truly, you make me feel so blessed. Each one of you makes the difference, and I love you back. So on June 1st, as we walk into this week, as we harvest our harmony, as we walk into June, the moon is going to be in Leo, and it's also going to be sextile with Jupiter, which is in Gemini. This is amazing and positivity all the way around. It also happens to be trine with Venus in Aries and conjunct with Mars in Leo, as well as square with Uranus in Taurus. And as we walk into June with this type of placement and these transits, we embrace a mix of heightened emotions, social connections, and a smidge of unexpected change. So this is the time to really welcome new ideas, welcome new shakeups, and manifest with optimism and positivity as we walk into June and on our path. And as the moon, as the moon moves to Virgo, we can turn our attention with that positivity, with that optimism, to focus on health, structure, and personal care, especially when it comes to walking with self-awareness and an increased drive in our perseverance. It's time to really follow your intuition, follow your inner wisdom, and trust your instincts. And it came out 50-50 here, but with the Three of Cups, this speaks all to the synergy through creativity, through dynamic balance. Again, we're harvesting our harmony this week. And it's about the synergy of three, which brings growth through expression, but also through opening that throat chakra. It's about listening. It's also about using your voice when and where you need to, and allow yourself to be heard as well as to hear others. And with the Three of Cups, it really speaks to that victory, right? It speaks to that celebration, that merriment, that optimism, but also the social connections that come with it. Sharing, friendship, community, sincere allies, and the knowledge, the walk that unity truly is our strength. And as I was meditating on this, what really came to mind for me is when it comes to harvesting your harmonies. So I play the viola, and I've had the blessing to play in symphonies as well as in orchestras. And as part of the orchestra, the best way I've ever heard it described, which I will always carry with me, is that an orchestra is kind of like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Don't ask, but it makes sense, trust me. So when you're looking at an orchestra, you've got the cellos, and then you also have the first violins, basically acting as the bread that the orchestra hears first, but it holds everything together through the resonance of our high vibrations as well as our lower frequencies. And then you have the second violinists. Those guys are the sweetness, right? They bring the jelly, the jams, and a little bit of spice if you're into jalapenos, just saying. But they bring the sweetness into the music through that harmony with that first violinist holding, right? And then for violas, what always called to me with that and that instrument just in general, not only does it resonate more in tune with the human voice, with a somberness that reaches our souls and our depths, but it's also the peanut butter in an orchestra. And don't get me wrong, I've always pictured myself as a creamy peanut butter, but I got a few chunks in there too, just saying. But either way, it brings that creaminess, like caramel, into that sandwich. And for all those bassists out there, don't get me wrong, I have not forgotten about you, because you guys serve as that lower baritone, that bass, that bounty that really serves us all up on a plate, that keeps us grounded in our resonance and our frequencies together. And so this is the week that it really spoke to me, and it made me think of when it was to play in a symphony, and when it was to play, like when I experienced playing in an orchestra, because truly it's where it's like you're all fish swimming in a school together, and you're so in tune with each other that as one moves, you all feel it and you react together, and you move through the music, through all the ebbs and flows of the currents together. And that truly is the magic of being aligned, of being in harmony with your vibrations, with your resonance. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because what we pulled is the Four of Swords. This is where if you had been feeling like you've had no time off, inadequate amount of time to rest, Spirit is reminding you that now is the time where your spirit, your harmony, needs time for healing as well, especially when it comes to energetically, so that your foundation, your mind, body, and spirit can align with your soul as a light body in your foundation and stand firm in your stability. Again, with the basis, it's not all about the booty. There's bounty in there too with your bootyliciousness, just saying. But this is really coming to that term, coming to that discipline of order, of harvesting your harmony when you're tapped in. And like I say, with the Four of Swords in reverse, this is where if you had been feeling exhausted, had been feeling restless, or just finding it difficult to relax, this is the week where you can realign, tap in, and align those vibrations with positivity and optimism on your path, especially as new shakeups come in, and you can manifest with them to really follow your intuition and bring about higher results that resonate with your frequency, particularly when it comes to your crown chakra. Now, with the Nine of Wands in reverse as well, this is about depletion, feeling discouraged, losing energy, losing that inner fire, particularly when it comes to potentially overreacting or dealing with adversities. What that adversity is really meant to do in some ways is challenge us in our resiliency, right? That's what shakeups really allow us to gain as well. And as the half moon is greeting us on June 2nd and encourages Virgos to reflect on our accomplishments and the path we've taken. It's also a good time to examine the progress that we've made and to celebrate, most importantly, just how far we've come. It's also an opportunity to identify areas of improvement and prepare for new phases in our lives. Manifest optimism and positivity in that path, because the sacral chakra as well, it really speaks to your creativity. It speaks to learning to use the past as tools and turning that pain into power. But also, what I love most about the sacral energy is that it makes sure, and the half moon I should say too, is that by appreciating our strengths, by preparing for new phases, it allows us to raise ourselves up in knowing our self-worth through gratitude for all that we are. It's time to embrace our imperfections. It's time to ground ourselves in knowing that we are perfectly imperfect just the way that we are. And that's truly what makes us uniquely us. That's what helps us with the lessons that we're meant to learn, and then in turn guide others through our voice, through our truth, to help lift others up in our beauty so that they too can learn not only from us, but with us and for all of us, because we are all connected, right? And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this is the time where Spirit is saying, after this half moon, after you've examined the progress that you've made, and most importantly, celebrated just how far you've come, we're walking into June 3rd, which breaks down as 6-3 and then combines to 9. And so this is a time, astrologically speaking, where the moon is in Virgo and it's square with Mercury, which is still in Gemini. Expect communication, expect news at this time, and expect an opportunity to embrace those imperfections, because again, that's what makes you uniquely and beautifully you, and gives you this story that you're meant to share with the world and gift with the lessons that you're meant to teach. This is about being enthusiastic in your extroversion, right? This is about standing in your creativity, standing as an individual and in your individuality, but also inspiring others, not only finding that dynamic balance, harvesting your harmony by taking swift action, thriving on challenge, standing in your own shine against competition, but also realizing too that wands are all about standing with that solar plexus. That's about being confident with who and what you are and knowing that you are enough. You always have been. And like I say, if that resonates, by all means, share your thoughts, put a heart in the comments below, like, share, subscribe, because it is followed right away by the Knight of Cups. This is about being romantic and holding that vision, those lofty thoughts with passion and with inspiration, and speaking them into your manifestations. one of the things that I always look at is, so if you've had to deal with hardships, particularly when it comes to abusive powers, let's just leave it as that overall blanket without going into depth. But when people have basically tried to take your power, take advantage of you, tear you down with manipulations, with a lot of, I don't want to go too depth, but, into abuses, let's look at that. What that in turn has as a gift for you, as you turn that pain into power, those wounds into wisdom, is it gives you the gift of sensitivity. It gives you the gift to be able to utilize and tap into your intuition and focus on those emotions, and also to choose to heal, so that you in turn can help heal others through your compassion, through lifting people up, and once again, transmute that negativity into a positivity through that balance with the Libran energy. Now, you also are looking at those hidden shadows, those hidden truths with that scorpionic energy. And by balancing out, transmuting the negative into the positive, you're able to tap into that third eye stronger than most who hadn't seen the darkness, right? Because light shines brightest in the dark. And that really allows you to be aware of personal bias, to question lenses of perception, but also allow yourself to dream as big as the universe. And again, if that resonates, by all means, put a heart, like, share, subscribe, because on June 3rd, we are very blessed. This is a time to open our eyes and our faith to trusting the process and living in our authenticity. It's a day to seek clarity in your communication and relationships. And as we dive deep into those details, you may find yourself rethinking and reviewing your messages to others to ensure that their meaning and their understanding is correctly expressed, as well as they're expressed through transparency and with transparency. That way you're eliminating any room for misunderstandings or projections as well. And with the Ten of Cups, I don't know why I said that, but Pentacles in reverse, this is about really conflict and looking at financial issues, financial uncertainties, feeling ostracized or outcast within the world, or dealing with aspects where you're not finding where you're in an environment that's united, right? This is where you're coming to a point with transition, but you're also coming to a point of the pinnacle of success with that 10. That's where you're looking at the 7 of Wands in reverse, and where it had meant to be tearing you down, right? Meant you to really get into this reactive rather than reflective response. That's where, in truth, all that conflict, the lesson of it in general, is where it puts you in this fight or flight scenario, right? And that's where it's like you're either lacking confidence that chooses to run away, or puts you in a place that basically you become overly defensive or overly sensitive and you fight. Instead, it puts you into that defense, right? That's where instead, by keeping your center, you're able to reflect and then respond and not react, because reacting is only about giving your power away. This is the day that brings you back to your center so that you can balance those energies. You can balance any misunderstandings and projections, not where those projections are taking that energy, but instead protect your energy in your center. And like I say, these are projections that you're kind of dealing with. These are lessons, and these are lessons that you're meant, once you conquer them, you're meant to share with the world. This is where, like I say, if there was unhappiness or a focus on materialistic aspects that have caused fear, particularly with finances, this is where it's like it was encouraging you to repress, testing you to repress your emotions. Also, to overindulge in ways to overcompensate, right? Through that entanglement of it. It's like where one thing was missing, you're overcompensating in other areas. This instead, with the Ace of Cups, really speaks to that heart chakra. This is about knowing that you are in a place both within and in your external world where you are actively supported. You're leaving what doesn't serve you behind, but instead truly being grateful for all that is, all that was, and all that's on its way, because those lessons are not only meant for you to learn, meant for you to conquer, but also meant for you to share, meant for you to teach, and stand in your personal power. This is new beginnings. This is also new ideas, positive creation, and first causes, but that's where you overcome. And by balancing the practicality and detail-orientedness of Virgo's strength, in our communication, when Mercury is in Gemini, it offers this wonderful, lighter, playful match to the mix of energy, leading to quick exchanges of ideas, leading to new collaborations. And again, the angel numerology, meaning of 639 is it's a day to release regrets. It's a day to move forward with optimism, to accept outcomes and learn from them, and trust that you indeed are on the right path. It's about achieving your goals and experiencing financial abundance, because that truly is your birthright. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, like, share, subscribe, because this is a day where, by maintaining your positive attitude, holding that center as you approach challenges, it teaches you and gifts you with resilience and the gift of knowledge when it comes to transmutation. This is where it strengthens your trust, not only within yourself, within your inner wisdom, but also within that divine timing, because you are indeed on the right path. Your angels will never guide you astray. And like I say, I just got to put all these out here so that we can see them, because this is gorgeous. Oh, there we go. And so with the Five of Wands, like I say, if you've been experiencing chaos within or around you, it's really due to envy from others, due to unresolved disputes, deep-seated aspects that were meant to teach you lessons, but it made you stronger. It gave you a new cycle, because God, through rejection, God always redirects you. Nothing that's ever meant for you will ever pass you by. It's your protection. And that's what also lights that fire. It gives you that inner strength so that you can come back as cycles tend to come every 7 years. As those shifts, as those lessons circle back around you, you can witness those challenges, see them for what they are, and more importantly, conquer them with that sacral energy, turning those tools from the wounds into wisdom, and manifest appropriately. Manifest with all the tools and the strengths that you hold within you, to not only guide you, to be guided by your angels, but also to guide others in this life through that unity, because we are all connected, right? And so with the Magician, this is about your communication. This is about self-mastery, as well as taking an initiative. But it's through your creative power. It's through that transmutation to turn something that was negative into a positive, through construction, through your spiritual power. And with the One, it's about those beginnings. It's about your control. It's about being conscious, right? It's about being awake. Not to mean that it's woke, but it's that you are awakening through your spirituality. And with the Two of Wands, like I say, this is where it's like, if you've been experiencing dualities, if you've seen fogginess within where your goal is, if your goal hasn't been clear, if you've been experiencing impatience due to hasty planning, being indecisive, not necessarily knowing where to go, this is where you're seeing through the wrong intentions. You're seeing what's meant to test you with feeling hasty, or putting you in an imbalance to make you rush. Also to make you indecisive with uncertainty. And instead, transmute that into your positivity, on your right path, because that's where the universe is saying that yes, you have a yes. You are seeking that success. You are accomplishing your careers through your ambition, through holding your vision, through making plans and decisions, through our careful planning, through our risk analysis, through looking at the details, right? They always say that the devil's in the details. I'm a firm believer, and this is where I think Virgos really stand strong, that the wisdom is in the details. And that's where, if anything comes up against you on your path, this is the week where you're harvesting your harmony against disappointment, against disillusionment, against anything that really was inflexible, that held a false sense of security, bad health even, bankruptcies, mismanagements, unfulfilling aspects that have led you to really be focused on the wrong things through preconditionings. This is where you're instead able to transmute that energy again and grab that Ace of Pentacles, because the divine, the angels, are always guiding you, and you are indeed on the right path. And like I say, if that resonates, by all means, share your thoughts in the comments below, because at this time, as we move into June 4th, the moon is going to be moving to Libra. Now, as the moon moves to Libra, it's also trine with Pluto in Aquarius, and it's in opposition with Saturn and Neptune, which are both in Aries. And we get a blessing. Venus is sextile with Jupiter. And so again, Jupiter is in Gemini, Aries, or Venus is in Aries. And so this combination brings intense introspection, but it also brings intense transformation. And as Virgos grapple with personal growth, societal shifts, the trine with Pluto enhances our analytical abilities, while this opposition will help with revealing hidden emotional depths and challenges in self-doubt, self-limitations, unresolved issues, deep-seated patterns, and through these aspects, they've left us feeling lost, confused, or delusions, or have potentially even triggered us into self-sabotage. This is the day where you're seeing through those hidden truths. You're looking at that through intense introspection, looking at those hidden truths and really looking at where the challenges and the tests, the trials are, the tribulations are, and more importantly, holding the knowledge within you to transmute them and harvest your harmony. And to top that off, at the bottom of the deck too, oh gosh, okay, I promise I'm done. But we also are lucky. We're blessed because we have that sextile with Venus and with Jupiter. And so with this, I have no idea how these all came out, but I'm going to try and lay them all out here. Let's see here. Okay. I hope that all fits. Let's go through this. This is a lot. This is where it's like, this is the week, like I say, as we walk into June, there is a harvest for your harmony. You are coming into balance. And like I say, you hold the power of that transmutation. So with the sextile between Jupiter and Venus, it brings opportunities for fun, creativity, and expansion to raise our vibration, to lighten our hearts with acceptance, and paves the way with focus on expansion and inspiration towards improvement through trying new things, new ideas, new experiences, new learnings, and walk towards new horizons and new outlets. And through these new ways of expression, it helps us, it teaches us the powers of transmutation and paves the way in finding that patience truly is our power. And trusting our inner wisdom is what's guiding us. This is with the sunflower on the Queen of Wands. This is about being outgoing, standing in your creativity, but standing in your optimism and standing in your confidence, because truly your inner wisdom, your intuition is your strength. But this is also embracing that divine feminine within each and every one of us, right? Standing in our charisma against adversity, against negativity, and being able to transmute it into the positive, no matter what tries to come into our energies with conflict. And so this is again where you're finding balance with the Two of Coins. This is also about harmony through time management, through multitasking. I'll say it again. New ideas, new experiences, new learnings bring you to new horizons and new ways of expressing, new ways of transmuting that pain into power. This is the time that by learning this strength, we can navigate with grace, and also, too, it teaches us the resilience that only balance and that harmony can give us when we hold that in our center. And so, again, with the Fool, if you have looked at, really lack of experience, what I'm getting most about this is like, if you've been surrounded by chaos or recklessness, really, it was, what really pulled you away from that or led you astray from your center is the, being naive to those tools. This is the day, this is the week to really open yourself up towards that expansion on how to transmutate through raising your vibration, through lightening your heart over the chaos, over any aspect with the Ten of Swords that have led to a painful ending, backstabbing, gossiping, deceptions, exaggerations, failures, misrepresentations, overworking, overexhausting your energy from energy vampires, energy harvesters, narcissistic abuse as well. Or, seeing bad news and not being able to see any other way, but, instead of learning from that as to, recognizing that's a redirection. Listening to that inner intuition when it comes to stagnations, bad communications, dealing with ignorance, dealing with projections. Instead, by transmuting that energy, holding your spirit, holding your power and your center, calling your power back with confidence from anyone that tries to take it from you without your consent. This is the time where you gain, as you gain, I should say, the powers of transmutation. We can navigate with grace and with resilience. And if that resonates, by all means, please like, share, subscribe, share your thoughts if you feel comfortable in the comments below, or just put a heart in the comments below, because like I say, this is the week where you are harvesting your harmony. And what's meant for you is that new beginning with the Ace of Pentacles. This is walking towards your beginnings, walking towards your prosperities, walking towards your financial security and your financial gain. But there's also an opportunity coming in this week, right? Expect communication on June 3rd. And on June 5th, Venus is going to be moving into Taurus. The Sun, which is in Gemini, is also going to be trine with the Moon, which is in Libra. And Mercury is also sextile with Mars. And so it creates this dynamic yet harmonious environment for us Virgos. Expect to be blessed with social connections filled with love, positivity, and they'll lead you, lift you with emotional fulfillment. And heads up, there is also a very high potential for new beginnings in love on June 5th. And so expect to feel very comfortable and confident, not only within the love for yourself, within your own skin, within your own authenticity, as well as within your thoughts, being and feeling your thoughts and feelings within your heart. But as you're calling in a partner and a lifestyle, you're grounding each other, making each other emotionally safe and secure, and creating a space where you can walk together in a way that lifts you up and appreciating the finer things in life. And for those that are single, as you call in the partner that's truly meant for you, that truly is your split apart, right? That's truly made for you in a lot of ways. The best affirmation as you do your meditations and your manifestations is to really tell yourself and the divine, as well as your partner, I'm ready when you are. And I'm just saying, if that resonates, put a heart in the comments below, because this is the time, like I say, where not only is change coming in, financial opportunities as well as financial gain, particularly when it comes to your career, but there's opportunities in your new beginning, in your prosperity. And with the Hermit, this is where you are not only seeking the advice of somebody wiser, but you're holding that wisdom, you're shining the light, because again, light shines brightest in the dark. That's the biggest power about transmutation. And it's through coming to that table in that hermit power with your experience that illuminates. It's because you've gone within and you are happy. You know, one of the things that always strikes me culturally is that for those that are not in a partnership, that walk alone, which truly is the story of the hermit, right? You walk alone in solitude to find your wisdom, to raise your elevation and your vibrations. And then when you're ready for all the wisdom that you now hold within, you're meant to come out of solitude in your experience and share with the world your story, to gift the world that knowledge, that power, and those teachings. And so one of the things, though, that really strikes me as interesting, and I think COVID really exacerbated this quite a bit for people, is that when people are in solitude, a lot of times when they look within, they don't like what they see, right? The hermit is the opposite of that. And that's really truly the gift of what gives all of us Virgos as being old souls. It's about being comfortable with, when you look at your inner world, being content within liking what you see, and more importantly, calling in a partner that's right for you, that you can also come to the table with and walk through life with, not have somebody walk ahead of you or somebody behind you, right? But it's all about that balance. It's harmonizing and harvesting your harmony. I'm just saying. And if that wasn't enough, I am just so excited for this. I'll do a separate reading on it because it's beautiful. But on June 6th, we are also gifted with Harmony's Gate Portal. I absolutely love it, and like I say, I'm very excited. But on this day, this is where we are shining. We're moving from that hermit solitude into shining as the star. This is basically hope for the future as well as a positive outlook, transmuting the negative into a positive through healing, and shining as the star of being that person, that gift to the world as hope and inspiration, as well as creating paths, teaching paths that lead everybody towards renewal, towards contentment, but towards a path of healing for the future, because we are all connected, right? And so on June 6th, the moon is moving to Scorpio. The moon is also in opposition with Venus, which is in Taurus, right? And so with Scorpio's energy, it brings transformation by examining our emotional needs and attachments to old patterns, attachments to unresolved trust issues, unresolved needs. And when it comes to relationships and our material world, it allows us to really identify those, to shine the light, but more importantly, to finally tackle them and to heal them, to utilize them to really create a path of healing, of hope and inspiration, and renew what was negative, right? To transmute that negativity through healing. And with Venus being in Taurus, rather, I should say, it brings grounding to those issues to help us usher in and prioritize valuing security in our relationships, valuing security in our finances as well, so that we find a healthy balance within our entanglements and within our commitments. And through Harmony's Gate portal, it amplifies an opportunity to build and receive harmony in our relationships with the world within and with the world around you. And it's through, as Virgos, through our birthright, really, of being nurturing and our birthright of service. And as we align with our higher self to cultivate that inner peace, we can help heal and walk through life as an inspiration by teaching renewal, through transmutation, through harvesting our harmony, and grabbing that Ace of Wands with wisdom. This is all about basically creating change. This is also about good news coming in. Again, this is the week where it's like expect communication and expect its knowledge that you are meant to share with the world as you learn and heal. And through this creative energy, through this inspiration that you find within, you'll also be able to cultivate it as you align with your higher self. And as we close out this week on June 7th, the moon is also going to be square with Pluto. So Pluto is, it's in our age of Aquarius. And so this transit leads us to reevaluate our power dynamics, not only in relationships, but it also leads us to reevaluate our personal power dynamics by understanding the root of our emotions and confronting any underlying insecurities or fears. And if that resonates, by all means, share your thoughts, put a heart in the comments below. Check out the Honey Sea Star store if you need a little pick-me-up, because all the words are power words. All the designs are meant to uplift, inspire, and empower you, that you hold the power to really confront those underlying insecurities and fears. And it helps us with letting go of control, honoring and establishing boundaries, but also expectations, and instead honor what's best and needed for you and your loved ones, to lift each other up and to support each other in the love languages that resonate more truthfully with you rather than the ones that are preconditioned. And again, if that resonates, like I say, put a heart in the comments below, because this is the day as we walk, this is the week, I should say, too, as we close out this week, as we walk into June, we are harvesting our harmony. Now, Spirit, I just want to get a few additional guidances here from our aunts. Thank you. You know, I always love it when I never get to finish. It cracks me up every time. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so biggest guidance here as well as we close out this week is that Spirit wants us to know that we are magic. We hold the magic within each and every one of us through our knowledge. Knowledge is power, and through the knowledge of transmutation, we are harvesting our harmony. Choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision because you can see through deception. Let go of the past, let go of control, and make room for a better life, because this is the week. This is truly the month, too, where Virgos are meant to rise up, because magic and wisdom are our birthright. I'm getting goosebumps, I'm just saying. And with the hummingbird, this is also the time to remember and believe, have faith that trust is needed with following your intuition. Trust that your guides are guiding you, that your angels are with you, and that they will never steer you astray. This is the time to believe in miracles and also to transmutate. Be that transmutator for the world, because you are indeed a joy bringer in this life. This is the time to bless the world with your positivity and with your love, because energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. I have goosebumps again. I just absolutely love this. I can't even tell you. Now, before we go as well, let's look at our major arcana, because meditating is so powerful and it's going to be so healing, especially as we uncover these hidden truths, as we let go of control and understand the root of our emotions and confront those underlying insecurities and fears, right? And so during this time, oh, this is gorgeous. What we pulled for major arcana is the Magician. This is where Spirit really wants you to know. It's time to manifest your plans and harvest your harmony. Put your ideas into practice. Everything is ready through your creative power, through transmutating negativity into positivity, through construction and what you build, not what is being destroyed around you, right? It's through that spiritual faith that'll lift you up and guide you through those volatilities. And so music medicine wise, what we pulled is an E. And so during your meditations, practice playing around with improv with the chord of E. Also what I see is yellow, which is really tapping into that strength of the sun, right? It gives us that vitality, especially with Mercury and experiencing the Kazemi that we just did. This is being kissed by the VIP grace of sun, right? Getting those downloads from the divine so that we truly can come and charge towards our new beginning, because everything is ready. I truly love this reading. I truly love that we are walking into the most abundant month for us Virgos. I am wishing you so much love and light. Please take care, and I will see you in the next reading.